Alright, so we got the old Mazda RX-7. It's been sitting for about a week or so. I've been gone, haven't had a chance to drive it at all. And I noticed that the tire's gone a little flat. And this has happened before, and I've looked around on the tire, sprayed it with soapy water, and I can't see bubbling anywhere. Not from the bead, not from anywhere on the tread, not from where the tire meets the rim. So I'm assuming that when you have aluminum rims, you start to get a little corrosion over time, and it's pretty likely with these because these are pretty old rims, I'm sure. So you get a corrosion around where the tire meets the rim. So anyway, the correct way to do this is to pull these tires off. Someone kind of hits those rims around the mating surface with a flapper wheel or kind of a wire grinder deal, and then you seal everything back up and it's fine. But today I don't have that option, so we're going to go about how to use tire slime. I've seen it a lot advertised, so I figured I'd just give it a shot here. But anyway, first things first, I don't have any source of air here at my apartment, so got to get it up to the gas station. And since someone thought it necessary to break into the toolbox of my truck and steal my air pump, I guess we're going to use a bicycle pump to get it pumped up enough. I really wouldn't want to hit a bump and, you know, distort my rim. So anyway, I'm going to get that all pumped up with a bicycle pump, and we'll get rolling and we'll get to this. All right, got our air cleaner all back on there, so let's see if it'll start up after a week. Always helps to put the right key in. So give it about 5 good pumps here for that open plenum intake. Trying. There we go. That's why you never put an open plenum intake on a street car. Alright, so here we are. So the first thing you do when you put this stuff in your tire is your tire is obviously going to be all the way flat, so I'll let all the air out of my tire in a moment. But you want to have your stem at the upper half of your wheel, so that, you know, obviously when you're putting this stuff in, it's sitting at the bottom and not just running back out when you're trying to put it in. It's kind of a gravity feed deal. So anyway, I'm gonna let all the air out of my tires and keep moving. All right, so most everyone will be in a situation about like this. So as you see, the tire is totally flat, sitting on the ground on the rim. So obviously you never want to have this situation because it's really bad for your tire, but this tire is pretty much toast anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is the cap on your slime actually pulls the valve out of your valve stem. So you need to do this so you can apply the slime. So it's got a little notch here. You're going to stick it in, twist it, and eventually it'll drop down a little bit, and then just lefty-loosey pull this thing right on out of here. Alright, so here's your valve. You don't want to lose this or damage it. So we got that out, and we can apply the slime. Alright, so it says for a car or truck you want to use 20 ounces, and it's labeled here. So since we don't have, per se, a puncture in our wheel, I'm just going to go ahead and use half the bottle on this tire and half the bottle on our other tire. But ideally, if you have like a nail in your tire, you should use the full thing. But we're going to go a little conservative. Alright, so it's as simple as you snap the hose on the end of your tube, and you're going to go ahead and just slide this over your valve stem. Try and do it with one hand, it's pretty tricky here. Just like so. And then it's just a gravity feed. You're going to squeeze it, and as you see, it's pumping on in there. So we'll use half the bottle here and half the bottle on the other tire. Ideally, if you had a problem, the recommendation on the back of the bottle is to use 20 ounces or 24 ounces or so. This whole bottle holds 24 ounces, so since we're just dealing with a very, very mild leak around the tire, I'm assuming, we're going to go ahead and just put 12 ounces in one and 12 ounces in the other. But anyway, we'll get this all filled up with 12 ounces in there, and then we'll check back in a few days after we get this in and air it up and see how it does. Alright, so once you have however much you want to have in there, you're going to take your stem again and you're going to slide it in here, and again use your tool to reinstall this. So get it right in the groove. There we go. And just as simple as screw it on in. Now this thing doesn't need to be super Gorilla tight. It's just a little O-ring seal, so once it is seated, you just give it a little, about a quarter turn there, and she should be good to go. So now we can air our tire up. Alright, and once you have all that done, the most important thing to do is to go ahead and drive the vehicle and throw all that tire slime around inside your tire, and it's going to find that low pressure area where the air is leaking out, and it's going to seal up there. So anyway, that's pretty much it, how to use tire slime, and we'll check back in a few days to see if we still have any air in our tires. Alright, it's been a few days here where usually the Mazda tires would have started to go flat by now and would be only about halfway, and they look real good. They're still holding air back to where I filled them up at. So obviously the tire slime's good stuff. So it seemed to work in this case where I had a sealing problem between the rim and the tire, I'd imagine, since it was such a slow leak. So anyway, there you go. I don't know how it would work if you had a complete puncture hole in your tire. There's tire patch kits for that you can get that would work a lot better, but for this type of situation where there's really no alternative outside of having the tire taken off and the rim cleaned up and remounted, it saved quite a bit of money there. So anyway, tire slime, it does have its uses, and if you use it properly, it does actually work pretty well.